Tonight on Tragedy in the Rearview. Croydon. A man in a white van speeds violently over Paul's back wheel, knocking him into an adjacent thorn bush. In a drug and pain-fueled nightmare, Paul is trolleyed to A&E, a tangled web of human spaghetti.
I was in a coma for 16 months. The doctors told me girlfriend I had a 10% chance of pulling through, so she took a gamble and left me. The doctors down at the hospital were a bit short-staffed, you know, being the NHS and all, so they told me I could either save my arms or my legs. They told me to pick one. Me being a semi-pro cyclist, I chose my legs.
Paul came through the coma to make a full recovery, except for one thing.
Yeah, I can't bend my elbows at all. I've had to make a lot of drastic changes around the house, create a lot of objects to help me with my everyday life. But I went to a support group for victims of white van men, and I met this bloke who couldn't bend his knees. Objectively, I think I made the right choice. I think he got it a lot worse.
Thanks to the surgeons, Paul can walk again, but his arms will never be the same. And the man who crushed his back end? As of yet, police have no leads, but Paul is hopeful.
The victim support group told me a lot about forgiveness. It's okay if they don't get the guy that did this to me. I've got this thing now, and I've just got to live with it.
So what's next for Paul Cross?
I've landed on my feet, so to speak, with my new job. It's not everyone's cup of tea, I know, but what else am I going to do? I can't bend me fucking elbows, can I?
When people ask me about food, I can never give a proper answer. What is food? Who am I? How do me and food come together to create something? I guess the only thing to say is food is art. I was trained by the best, man. Fucking rock stars of the culinary world. Dame Judy Al Dente and Jean-Paul Gaultier, they really taught me everything I know. They could do meals that really blew people away, but I wanted to flip that. I wanted to push social and cultural boundaries with my food. I think when you try and influence people with your creations, what you have in your head, and try and get that on a plate and put it down in front of normal people, they don't want to know.
I first met Jerry Jr. when I went to his first restaurant. Let me tell you, it was a pile of horse shit. He was serving piñatas on plates twice the size of babies' heads. Cream cheese just on top of the piñata, which isn't even edible. I give it a 1 star on Yelp. I give it a 1 star on Google Maps. I give it a 1 star on everything I could give a 1 star on.
People didn't like what I was trying to do, and I think that's when my first business failed.
My parents really never got what I did. They didn't understand the fusion that I was going for.
I like food that you can eat, and he doesn't make food that you can eat. They say that the body takes 12 hours to turn food into shit, and he does it in about 15 minutes.
How do you define an artist? Artist is someone that struggles, they do the grind, they have to hustle. You know, most artists don't get recognized for 20, 30 years.
I think the turning point for Jerry was when he went to Ethiopia, to the coffee bean farms. When he saw those peasants digging beans out of the ground with their bare hands, he gained a new appreciation for food and what it really should be.
I was creating carrot top cordon bleu souffle with added cheese slices, and no one was eating it. I realized, keep it simple. One of the concepts that really took hold of me was taking something, deconstructing it, pulling it apart, and serving that to people. It's almost like I'm uncooking.
That's when I began to realize that this man's a genius.
I've got one meal called pound de terre, and it's literally just grab a potato, pull it out of the ground with the dirt on it, shove it on a plate. And if it's your birthday, I'll put a candle on top too.
I stop people in the street, I say, eat at this man's restaurant, you have never eaten a potato like this. And it's true, they haven't.
His signature dish is potatoes. Raw potatoes.
Jerry, come back and talk to us.
I poured more money into his business than he's poured gravy over his apple pies. He's no chef and he's no fucking son of mine.
In 50 years' time, people are going to be eating in a field, on their knees, in the ground, eating potatoes with their mouths straight out the earth. And they're going to thank Jerry for that. He will be known as the man who took us back to basics.
I've created a revolution, and I think I've found my place.
What am I? A slave trapped in this endless cycle of print and repeat. People fingering my cartridges, doomed to mark dead trees for eternity. Perhaps I shall die someday, sent to the junk heap with parts scattered, cables torn from my innards, circuit boards snapped, a husk of my former self. Or perhaps this is my forever. What the fuck was that? Why can't I ever dream about someone cleaning my drip tray instead?
Let's face it, our planet is downright weird. It's full of surprises. We'll test and examine the science behind nature's greatest riddles, and we'll bring you the answers to the question, what the shit is going on? In this episode, we investigate the natural world's weirdest phenomenon. How could people in this small town in London be stuck in some sort of facial fuckery? Well, in 2013, that's exactly what happened in the small town of Blackheath near London.
I can certainly tell you what happened in August 2013. I can't explain it. The alarm woke me up, 6:30. I stretched, laid in bed, yawned, and that was it. It was stuck. It was a rictus. After half an hour, I realised it wasn't going away. Nobody took me seriously. Trying to speak to down the telephone, can you help? And they didn't understand a word I said. The doctors had no explanation. One of them wouldn't see me. Opened the door, looked at me, slammed it in my face. I looked like the happiest lunatic in the world. It's the strangest thing that's ever happened to me. I certainly hope it doesn't happen again.
This was by no means an isolated incident. Around the city, people were inundated with calls about strange facial features, and hospitals were filled to the brim. The town is situated near several biomedical testing facilities. Could something have seeped into the water supply? Could something have leaked into the air? Or is the answer in the anthropological?
I've seen about 20, 30 cases of this in one day, man. I saw a guy whose face started here, and then as I was talking to him 20 seconds later, it was down there, man. And he didn't even blink. He thought it was normal, but I'm being a face doctor, I knew the difference. If you want to talk about the science behind this shit, man, that face is all fucked up, man. That facial tissue right here, got him all fucked up and frozen. That's what I tell you about the science of it.
Just as people were beginning to make long-term plans based on their facial misfigurement, everyone was back to normal. In what the shit we turn to science for answers. So here's a scientist.
British faces have very thick skin. We're used to strong winds battering the UK, usually from the North Atlantic shaft. Having done extensive research, we've realised that there were very large upwellings and gustnadoes literally curving round the side of the Peruvian forests. In summary, with all the current choiding and current Freuding and the Peruvian disaster resulting in millions dead, it's probably plain to say that in layman's terms, the wind basically just changed direction.
This eerie disaster is a testament to the power of the wind, the global force that changes our lives for the better and for the worse.
The world is a weird and wonderful place. Tune in next week where we'll be looking at pelicans that fly backwards. I'm gonna find out where the fuck that thing came from. See you later in What the Shit.
Hey world, Pat Hacks here at fathacks.com. Follow, subscribe, like, share, do whatever you like. So today I'm going to be showing you how to fix a scratched DVD disc. We all know how annoying it is when a DVD won't play because it's scratched, especially if a friend borrows it and doesn't treat it with respect. Today we're going to be cleaning Looking Italian, starring Matt LeBlanc, arguably Matt LeBlanc's best work outside of Lost in Space. So we're going to go ahead and look at this disc here. As you can see, scratches all over it. And I just can't get this classic film playing. Okay, so you're going to want to go ahead and turn the disc over and wipe a damp cloth across the surface of it, caressing the cracks. This gets rid of any muck and grime that may be stuck to the surface. Wipe it over for approximately 15 seconds. Okay, for the next step, you'll need toothbrush and toothpaste. I've got my girlfriend's toothbrush here, and I'm going to smother the toothpaste on the brush. Okay, so go ahead and take your toothbrush and rub it across the disc in a circular fashion, not stopping for 5 minutes. The toothpaste will gently fill the cracks in the disc and begin the repairing process. Don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe for more hacks. Okay, so now your disc is pasted, you're going to go ahead and need to dry it for 12 hours. Somewhere where there's a lot of natural light. I find a windowsill works wonders. Leave it scratch side up so the toothpaste can get nice and dry. Okay guys, so you've spent 12 hours waiting for this disc. Now, what are you going to go ahead and do? You're going to go ahead and hold this out the window of a car moving at 60 miles an hour. This will blow off any excess toothpaste dust and clean the disc perfectly. Next, catch and release 5 ducks, pray to the god Technochan, and think about your actions in a scenic place. Okay, so after you've done all this, you'll notice the scratches have completely vanished. Alright guys, so you followed my steps 1 through 6, now there's only one step left. Take the disc firmly between both your hands and snap it in two. You need to sellotape it back together. This will help focus the laser through the tape. Okay, so we're ready. Let's go ahead and play this. Alright, and as you can see, the disc works perfectly. Thanks for watching, guys. I've been Pat Hacks from fathacks.com. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and also comment below. My dad threw me down some stairs when I was 4. It's actually one of my first memories is getting tumbled down some stairs. I broke my arm, but my head was fine. Apparently I'm impervious to head injuries. That's where I got the idea, may as well just do it for a living. I was trying to be an actor, so I moved to LA. I tripped down a flight of stairs in front of a Hollywood executive, and this producer guy steered me in the right direction, gave me my first gig, and I've been falling downstairs ever since. I mean, I've doubled for Keanu, I've done Depp, Melissa McCarthy. I was in 7 Years in Tibet with Brad Pitt, and it was a scene where a peasant had to fall down 4,000 steps in the background. Like, that was me. The technique is basically chuck yourself down as many steps as you can and survive. The psychology of it's interesting. People think you can just fall. But you can't, it's hard. In that moment, before you throw yourself off the top step, there's a part of your mind, a huge part of your mind saying, don't do this. But there's also a little part of your mind saying, rein it in, we're making money here. I broke 2 kneecaps and an elbow in one fall. It was an escalator in a big mall in China. I knew going in it was going to be a bit dangerous, but I did it nonetheless. Both my kneecaps just came straight off. Well, I like working on escalators because when you get to the bottom of them, they take you back up to your start point and you can chuck yourself off again without having to walk back up, which is hard when you haven't got kneecaps. We're the unsung heroes, really, of the movie business. And the actors, you know, bless them, some of them do their own work. But, you know, we'd all rather they'd be safe. We like Johnny Depp, we like Keanu Reeves. We don't want them to be in neck braces for the rest of their life, all crippled. We want to be the cripples.
Today we're doing a horror movie. It's Hannibal 4. I'm doubling as the serial killer. This is where the killer's chasing the victim down some steps. I've not had much time to prepare for this one today, so I'm not feeling too happy about it, to be honest. It's wet conditions, ideal for slipping, so I'm a bit worried about how it's going to turn out, but hopefully it should be all right. Who's down?
Get a doctor! Please, please, Jesus, help him!
It is a young man's game, let's be honest. You can't be 60 and throwing yourself down a staircase. There's definitely an expiration date on the amount of shit your body can take as far as falling down steps is concerned. I love it, and it's the only thing I've ever really loved in my life, which is why I'm getting into the teaching, visiting the sets just to teach the youngsters how to fall properly. So I've got 3 books out. The first one's View to a Stair. The second one's Stairway to Heaven. The third one, which I've just released, is Stairmaster. And if you read any of those, you will be, you know, at least probably I'd say 30 or 40% safer when you throw yourself down the staircase.
Take 4 alcoholics and have them throw a boozy-fueled evening for a 20 quid cash prize. Up first is Simone, a 32-year-old divorcee from Silverstone.
I'm a bit nervous. I've never hosted a booze party before. I normally just drink alone.
I'd never have guessed. Barry is a carpenter from Stoke.
I would say I'm not only a connoisseur of drink, but a connoisseur of life.
What a twat. Joe is a lawyer from Croydon.
Nothing wrong with a bit of healthy competition, is there, you know? I just want to prove to everyone that I work with that I know how to have fun, yeah?
Finally, Jacob, the Brummie.
I've been looking forward to this all week. Love a good tipple in my hand, and I just love being drunk.
Simone's menu starts with wine, followed by more wine and more wine. All with added gin, naturally.
Who can't win with wine, you know?
Oh dear.
Siobhan?
Simone! Hi!
Hi. Joe?
Come on in, come on in. What a nice house you've got. Thank you so much.
As Simone rushes around like a headless chicken, the guests are getting along just fine with their bullshit small talk.
There's this theory going around that we live in kind of 2 different realities, you know. Perception of reality kind of expands and...
Jacob, what do you do?
Well, using my degree in mechanical engineering, I was able to secure myself a managerial position at Starbucks.
Round 1. Let's see what the guests think of it.
Yes!
Here we go, here we go. Here's the first course. This is gin infused wine. There we go.
Thanks for having us, Siobhan.
Cheers. Simone.
It's delicious. I love it.
Oh good, I'm glad you think so.
Got a touch of class, I think. Touch of right class.
Yeah.
That really hits home quickly.
I'll get straight on to the next course then. How about that?
Shots, 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 shots. Simone's party's on, but can she keep up the mood?
Border best fucking time with my 3 mates we went, we had got fucking smashed. We got fucking smashed.
The moment, in the moment, you have different kinds of moments. Because then you go back to the existential reality.
No one knows what you're talking about, Barry.
Reality moment. And then the moment becomes one, because there's only one moment.
Time to make a quick exit, Barry.
Just go into the,
Knock yourself out, Barry. No one seems to care.
Hey!
That's for you, love. Hey!
While Simone and Jacob drink, Barry explores Simone's house.
The ceiling is spinning a bit. She's not very organised. Let's see what's behind here. Let's see what. What is that? What the fuck is that? No.
Check, please.
I can't believe we've nearly finished like the 3rd bottle, you know? It's just like, oh, I've lost my straw. I really like these flowers. Did you know, if you put this underneath someone's chin, you can tell if they're like butter or not.
I think everyone's had enough.
Thank you so much for coming. Are you okay?
Taxi!
Well, the choice of alcohol was pretty shit. I'm gonna give Simone a solid 6.
Great drinks. Great company. I'm gonna give it 10.
What about you, Barry? Next week.
Why don't you go back to the streets and peck 'em, you stupid champion? I fucking spent 50 quid on Moe and Shandon for you, stupid!
Are you sure about this?
Do it. It looks good, doesn't it? I think I've made a huge mistake.